Welcome all to a dreamy summer evening in Wisconsin, where today's match is presented by Dairyland Insurance, and we welcome you to one of the United Soccer League's great galleries. Reese Stevens Field awaits, and it's some of the division's true classics at odds. It's Greenville triumphing forward Madison here on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network. Howdy folks, I'm Peyton Gallagher with Ross Davenport, and the story is of two directions of travel in opposite areas for Greenville triumph. 3 games on the skip with victories. Forward Madison not so fortunate. They've been long winless, Ross.
Yes, Greenville went 8 without a win for 2 months before. That was 3 in a row. Maybe Madison can get it figured out tonight and finally put one in the win column.
Madison got that victory at One Knox. The league has not treated them as well, but if they are to get right, it might be because of these two men, the newly loaned in Luca Dorado, as well as the all-time appearance leader Derek Gebhardt. Those will be the two leading the line.
Gebhardt, he got off to a good start this season with 4 goals in his first 6 starts, but the scoring's dried up since mid-May. Comes to tonight with just 1 shot in his last 3. As for Dorado, a stud at UCF, he'll bring some physicality and some no fear to that front 3 for Matt Glazer.
As for Greenville triumph, Madison might be able to take note. They were in a long walk in the desert, had gone 8 games in the league without victory, but since then, 3 matches unbeaten in all competitions, outscoring opponents 8-1.
Yeah, those that have watched Greenville over the years knew that poor run of luck might not last forever, and they've broken out of their slump in a big way. Only 1 goal allowed in their last 3, and that was from a Zane Bubb mistake.
Leo Castro is the one who has been really providing the offense, and at his ripe old age, upwards of 35+ years old, has really been thundering in the goals, so dominant in the air.
He is the ageless Colombian legend, continued to impress, 7 goals in all comps, and also he started all but 2 games in those competitions. Great hold-up play, pressing, and finishing ability, especially with his head, stellar. He rarely takes a minute off, does Leo.
5-headed goals this year, only 1 off the all-time record in the league, set by Leo Castro. As for the contest at hand, it's forward Madison and Greenville triumph. They've seen themselves in this one plenty of times down the years. They will do it again in the back half. In the USL League One regular season, it's coming up. Greenville triumph and forward Madison live.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget and 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
Getting the exact vehicle you want is easy at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton. Come in and sit down with one of our sales professionals and build the Volkswagen you want. Pick all the features, order it, and then sit back and relax, knowing you're getting your dream vehicle. The best things in life are worth waiting for after all. Check out our selection online or in person, with new vehicles arriving every day. Your perfect Volkswagen could already be waiting for you at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Lineup presented by Madison Concourse Hotels, and as for forward Madison, this is what Matt Glazer has gone with, trying to get out of that rut, Ross.
Yeah, 3 changes. They'll be in there. Alt kicks tonight. Outgoing Mitch Osmond injured yet again. Garrett McLaughlin to the bench. Barry Sosa out with the red card. Suspension in comes Chalaka, Dorado, and former Triumph man Nico Brown.
As for Greenville triumph, There is an absence in the Chapa USL starting the 10.
Yeah, it's a big shoes to fill for, so there'll be some pressure on him as well as the other two central midfielders, Evan Lee and Connor Evans. Chapa Herrera, a tough man to replace. But yeah, keep an eye on Toby Sims on that right side. Been a revelation since coming over from England.
Connor Evans, the league's leader in chances created. Much at stake today. Our bovine friends in attendance and stealing the show ahead of a highly important midway point clash between two common foes. Forward Madison and Greenville triumph once more. Peyton Gallagher with Ross Davenport. We are to the important bit, the pointy end of this USL League One season. For Forward Madison, so commonly amongst the league's elite, finding themselves in the cellar at the start of a 3-game homestand in the league. It is do or die time for Matt Glazer's bunch, and you got that sense talking to him this week.
Yeah, it's an important game. Looking for that first win in such a long time. Fans are starting to get a real restless, but listen, they'll always show up to Bree Stevens to support their boys no matter what.
Up and underway. Madison debuting their alt kit, paying homage to Scottish heritage and the richness of that culture.
It's Highland night tonight at Bree Stevens. They got the tartan shorts, and we saw the cow, the Highland cow. Or you know what they call cows in Scotland, Peyton?
I do not.
Coos. I'm half Scottish, so I'm allowed to say that.
Yes, you are. And on the front foot, it's Forward Madison. Madison, a side that love to dominate the ball. It's helped them to be a very productive offensive side in years past. Not so much this year, as that one wriggles away from John Murphy Jr. And it's Evans, unable to outlet there and all the way back to Gunther Rankenberg.
Who's managed to hold on to his spot between the pipes in this league match. Rick Wright was talking about how well Seth Torman had done in that cup win over Miami. There were some discussions about whether to give Seth another opportunity, but sticking with the program, which was to give Gunther the starts in the league games. Torman continuing the cup, a big cup game coming up in a couple of weeks for Greenville. We'll get to that a little later, I'm sure, against FC Naples. A chance perhaps to progress to the knockout stages.
Searching ball in behind. It will skip away from Leo Castro. Just on Rankenberg. Saw Seth Torman put in that excellent performance. 7 saves against Miami FC in the Jägermeister Cup. He comes out. He has 5 saves, the second most in any game in his career against Westchester. Posts a shutout there, and maybe just speaks to the level of competition. These two goalkeepers pushing each other a little bit.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think Torman's done enough to certainly be considered for the starting job, but Gunther Rankenberg certainly hasn't done anything to deserve losing the job, right? I think it has to be a combination of those two. Rankenberg has made some big saves as well over this 3-game winning streak in all competitions. Listen, that cup win against Miami, that was no slouch Miami team. They put out the big guns in that game in Greenville.
Ross says this game begins to settle into its momentum. Keys to the game for you.
Well, for Madison, they just got to find some inspiration, and it's in that final third where they've really struggled. They've had the possession there, but haven't been able to get enough scoring chances, and obviously not enough goals. It's been forever ago since they scored 2 goals in 1 game. As for Greenville, they're going to win the middle of the park without Chapa Herrera, always around the ball, always hustling. It's going to be a big gap that I'm sure for Madison will certainly try to exploit. We'll see how Zeke Soto and the combination of Evans and Lee step up.
Keys of the game brought to you by Burrish Group at UBS. Madison advancing into the box. It's deflected away by Tyler Polak. And it will scramble out of touch for a throw. That is the big absence for Rick Wright. Chapa Herrera is the tempo setter in the middle of the park. He's had 2 red cards in the last 11 games after not having one in 100+ to start his career.
One positive for Rick Wright is the return tonight of Pascal Corvino on the bench. He's been out for a couple of months at least with an injury, a little earlier return than we expected. Rick Wright said he may play tonight. He's been training for a couple of weeks. Obviously fill in that spot if needed at the 6. Obviously Evan Lee, very proficient back there in his own right as well.
Corvino out for the last 19 matches. As for now, a shot from range, and it never really troubles the goal. Nazim Bartman got into that central position and saw license to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's been a bright start so far for Madison, looking to get forward and quickly. Aidan Macias, he's really going to be the key in the midfield. With a ton of space there, we'll see him likely at that right wing-back spot tonight with Faraday. So always a fan of tartan.
Is that what it's called?
It is tartan, and each clan in Scotland would have their own tartan. My mom was a Fraser, part of the Fraser clan, if you want to. Obviously going way back. I don't own any Fraser clan. And Fraser tartan, though I should.
You can own some Madison tartan if you so please. This kit's available for purchase.
And we saw Greenville release their new kit a couple of weeks ago. One of the best sellers in team history. Their classic kit. This is the alt kit for Madison. See Madison jerseys sell out very well everywhere, not just in Wisconsin.
Flushing wide. Knocking on the door again, it's the Mingos. Ball in centrally, it spills in! It is a dream start for the home side. Luca Dorado barrels through and makes it 1-0, 5 minutes in.
Rankenberg caught napping a little bit at his near post. Tyler Pollack taken on by his former teammate here, Nico Brown. Bartman was the run through though by Macias, and then back to Nico Brown. Here is the duel here. Brown beats him to the byline. Gets a beautiful cross in, and Macias just with the slightest of touches to redirect it past Gunther Rankenberg at his near post. It's all about the pace on that ball, obviously, as well as the direction, but the pace meant that all Dorado had to do was redirect it slightly, give it a great chance to beat Rankenberg, and it's exactly what it did.
That goal is presented by Dairyland Insurance, and it is one that will lift the cheeks of many forward Madison faithful. The Mingos have been one of the slowest scoring sides in the division this year, yet to claim victory in this fortress of a home ground in 2025. They have put themselves in the driver's seat, not 5 minutes in.
I mentioned what a bright start it was.
That has to feel so good for this group that have been through the ringer, so beaten up. At points in training for this match, only 14 players available as Burn Shipman, the goalkeeper, is able to meet this ball in behinds. The question is now for a Madison side that have been so often inclined to play with the ball at feet, do you maybe dial back the risk at all 5 minutes in, trying to preserve things just because the amount of strain this season has put on your roster, the few players available?
I think you have to go with the momentum that goal's given you and look for that second. The second goal's been so hard to come by for them. They haven't scored two since March. Giving away an early corner here, the first one of the evening for Greenville, as Matt Glazer barking out instructions.
This Greenville side have been so deadly in the air, the league's leader in headed goals. Been able to manufacture quite a bit from set pieces. It's Ben Zakowski who takes ownership. A chance for Greenville to get right back. Connor Evans is the short man. He's provided a league best 20 chances created from dead balls, and he gets it short. Without swing, swiveling in off the foot of Evan Lee, and the chance is gone.
And Leo Castro making a similar near post run to Dorado. He just couldn't get anything on the end of it.
Down by Leo Castro. With some thinking is able to health. Sports medicine injury report. Both these sides a little bit roughed up. Just the nature of this part of the campaign.
Yeah, Gonzalez just got healthy and is now out again. Jack, we're dealing with a high ankle sprain. He may be out for a couple more games. Eddie Majumba obviously out for the season. That's one of many injuries that the Madison team has had to deal with throughout the season. Brandon Fricky there may have got stepped on. Certainly feeling something in his hand or finger. Luckily, he doesn't need those tonight.
This is true.
Other than to lift himself up on Madison players here in this throw-in, perhaps.
He's been one of the league's best, nominated for the league's midseason Defender of the Year this week, Brandon Fricky. As for now, the ball into the area. It goes skewing along at the top of the 6. It's jabbed back for now. And it will be another corner.
Yeah, Zane Bubb was in the mix there, looking again on the end of that flick. Let's look at Timmy Mel. They will scramble that one away.
Zakowski darkening the doorstep once more with in swing. It's a decent ball, and it's belted high. Leo Castro flashes the fangs, but nothing more.
Castro certainly got all of that one. Just wasn't able to direct it on target. Under some pressure defensively, but perhaps should have done better, the Colombian there.
Big man has been so lethal in the air. As we mentioned earlier, 5 headed goals this year, the most in the league, only one off the league's single season record of 6 set by Leo Castro last year. Trevor Amon also with 6 back in the 2022-2023 season. Here's Murphy.
Remember the win that got this 3-game winning streak going. They had all 3 goals via the head, and they were down 1-0 early in that game too against Chattanooga. So no panic yet for Greenville.
No one to come. Greenville have had a little bit of trouble this year with slow starts. That is now the 6th time that they have conceded in the first 15 minutes of a game. You mentioned the Chattanooga results earlier this year, starting off this run with 3 consecutive victories, Ross. But other than that, this has usually been a recipe for disaster for Greenville. Not had the most success revoking deficits. This is a little bit of an aimless header back to Shipman, who will meet it just inside the area.
Yeah, Shipman had to be careful there. Made sure he went straight up, not outside of the box. Don't see many headers back to goalkeepers from that far out.
They're Iron Man this year, the only player in this team to play every minute in the league campaign. Working down the far side, the Bingos. Space centrally.
Madison seems to be working a lot harder off the ball tonight than we've seen over this poor run of games. A lot of energy to start off this one. Taking into effect that Greenville have a few extra days of rest. Their last game was a couple of Wednesdays ago. Madison obviously played last Saturday and that lost to Texoma.
Queuing wide, spaced across again. Floated to the back stick, it will hang up. Handled well by Chris Garcia, who's bundled over by Toby Sims.
I was about to say that was great work from Toby Sims, and that's a harsh foul on the right back, Rick Wright. Not going to be happy about that decision. Looks like Toby Sims just won the physical battle here. Let's take another look at it. Now I'll take it back. He did have the right hand, right arm over the shoulder. Grab of the jersey almost inside the box. Toby Sims has got to be very careful there. See his reaction to it, but referee clearly saw the jersey grab.
That referee is Tim Wagner in the center today. His first big call to action has set up an opportunity for forward Madison. Only 10 goals on the year. One of those being scored inside the first 5 minutes today. Can they make it 2 in the first quarter hour? It's a low ball blocked off the wall. Krul. Late to arrive to Garcia, and Zakowski got eyes up. Got a man making the run. It's Soto. Still Zeke Soto. He can't quite get full purchase. He's gone down. Not enough contact to incite the penalty. It was Murphy who was tangled.
Not a ton of complaints from Zeke Soto. What a ball from Ben Zakowski. We were looking for Bernd Shipman to come out on the right side of our screen, but he certainly wasn't in the correct position. Let's take a look. It was good a hand battle in the end, yeah. Murphy went down, seemed to lose his footing and sort of took Soto down with him. That one could certainly have gone either way. Soto didn't complain much after the initial hands up.
Soto, a well-tuned ball into Castro, who once more meets the pitch. Again, it's shrugged off by the center official. Rick Wright has certainly been vocal about officiating in recent weeks and making himself known here. Would be well worthwhile to maybe take another look at that at the next moment of opportunity, but for now, it's nothing but a footnote. That said, Zeke Soto certainly turning things up in the attack.
And Tim Wagner coming up from MLS Next Pro. He was the top-ranked MLS Next Pro referee last month. He's had plenty of work to do here in these first 15 minutes, including a couple of potential penalty shouts for Greenville.
Kobe Sims splits a line now into Ben Zakowski, who shapes the ball into Leo Castro. Castro taking aim and turning wide. Rare is it that he misses a chance like that without at least working the goalkeeper.
Oh, lovely ball by Ben Zakowski. I'm not sure if we were going to see him on the right or the left tonight, but this was a beautifully weighted ball into the pace of Castro, and he's going to want that one back. It's almost sort of coming too straight at it. At the end, he had to put his laces through it. Unfortunately, got his laces on the wrong side of that ball, but two good early chances for the veteran. Nice, fun, wide-open game here in the first quarter of an hour.
The most common scoreline in this contest history has been 0-0 all time. Coming into today, it was Greenville who had the series lead. 4 wins, 8 draws, 3 losses. They have almost always been cagey. These two have locked horns, but it is a much more free-flowing game. You're right to say that.
As the bagpipes come into play.
Really lifts the soul. Madison have not been fast starters this year. That goal, only the second that they have scored inside the first 10 minutes this year. First coming against Westchester earlier in the campaign. It's the second fastest goal they've scored this year, Madison.
As you mentioned, Highland Knight had a wee scarf ticket pack, as well as Highland dancers, Madison pipes and drums. We talked about that. We talked about the hairy coup, which we saw before the game.
Say that again for me.
2 coups per half is the maximum paid.
Piping on in defense. Madison backing off. Customarily a little bit of a lower line of confrontation. Out for a throw. USL on CBS kicks off July with a hot showdown in the Championship Eastern Conference. Last season's final runner-up, Rhode Island FC, take on Northeast rival Hartford Athletic on Saturday, July 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. I hear they're calling that one El Clamico.
Give you some Scottish facts, though, Peyton. Okay. The first Scots came to Milwaukee in the 1810s as fur traders.
Hopefully it's not how you say it, hairy coup fur.
Listen, it is beautiful fur, it may well be, but I think the cows are a little more valuable for some other things.
Zakowski able to take custody back of the ball. Now Sims. It's a clever bit of blocking, out for a throw. Greenville in their Unity Road strip, paying homage to a famous local park.
Haven't seen any fans in kilts, just the Pipers so far.
Nothing to be said of your kilt.
I do own a kilt.
Is that a fact?
It's worn very infrequently, mostly for rugby social proceedings.
Duly noted. As for now, the game at hand. Spraying wide, Tyler Pollock. And flipped along, deftly so. It's a real joust for it in the corner, and it's won by Madison. Wriggling away from pressure. This is a lovely dribble.
Soto
went in stiffly, the youngster. Toppled Nico Brown, but advantage to be played to Madison.
Yeah, I think that one might come back for a card. Zeke Soto doing his best Chapa Herrera impression there.
The game is certainly starting to bubble up a little bit. Both these teams finished their last game down to 10 men. I already told you about Chapa Herrera. It was Ferretti Sosa who was sent off against Texoma for Madison. The referee doing his best job to get his arms back around the game.
Yeah, Sosa was sent off late in the first half for a Dogso challenge. It's pretty clear and obvious 1-2. Chaparreras was apparently for dissent. Obviously, we weren't privy to what was said. But yeah, you mentioned Chapa's second one of the season. He's got to be careful. His points will add up as the season goes on.
He has been this Greenville program's metronome for 2 seasons now. All-league performer in 2024. He's averaged over 60 touches per 90 every season of his professional career. Somehow needles all the way through into Bartman, who pushes along. Gebhard racing in. He's undercut. What's the color of the card? They're certainly calling for one.
And there was plenty of help back. I think it's got to be a yellow. The Madison players are looking for the red, but there was certainly help in the middle.
It doesn't look like the referee has produced a caution, though.
Yeah, it's very clumsy from Zane Bubb. And Dorado was never going to get to that ball. Rankenberg would have got there first.
A pair of college teammates coming together. Bubb and Dorado at UCF for a pair of seasons.
Was that the red card out? I think it is. Zane Bubb's taken off his shin guards.
My goodness.
And Tim Wagner with another major decision. And Brandon Fricky is expressing his concern in that the knock through wasn't going towards goal. It was a heavy touch that Rankenberg would likely have got to in the first place anyway.
And that's day done for Zane Bubb, and bad gets worse for Greenville.
Rick Wright with not even a word to his central defender. Brandon Fricky trying to plead his case to Tim Wagner, who took a while to think about it.
That red card is presented by Dairyland Insurance, and it defines the contest now. Greenville in back-to-back games, a player sent off. This is far more precarious than where they found themselves against Westchester, though. We're already 3 goals to the good then. A goal down, and now down to 10 for 70-plus minutes in Madison. And a chance to maybe ensure the lead with a free kick in prime real estate.
A word in the Dogs law because an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. I just don't think it was there with the heavy touch. Sorry, from Macias. Was it Macias or one of the 7 looked very similar on these jerseys.
Dorado, who is getting in behind. As for now, it's a routine free kick. It's blocked. And taken back in by Timmy Mail, who's nearly given the ball away. Evan Lee in pursuit. Still coming. Just ducked away from danger, but Leo Castro not allowing his opponent off the hook. Castro flashes one into the area. Greenville might be well served to really press the gas over the next 5 minutes, see if they can't equalize, and then bunker in and try and play for a point.
Well, let's see what Rick Wright's going to do here. He's going to hang out with 3 at the back for now, which Greenville have done in the past. But obviously limits now Toby Sims' ability to get up and down that right wing.
We have seen Tyler Pollock play as a left-sided center back at times. We've seen Evan Lee perform those duties as well. Here is Lee between lines. And threading forward. It slots all the way wide. And shepherded out of play by Nico Brown. It's been a disorienting start to life in this game for Greenville Triumph. A goal from Luca Dorado, not 6 minutes into the game, followed by a recent sending off of Zane Bubb, and that man will be at the chalkboard. You see the weight of the task on his shoulders.
I'm going to keep going on this Dogso thing. Peyton, you need 4 Ds for Dogso to be given. One is the number of defenders, D for defenders. From what I could see, there was defenders in the middle that wouldn't have allowed an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Distance to goal was a good 15 to 18 yards away from goal. Distance to the ball, I don't think the attacker was ever going to get there with the heavy touch. And the direction of play certainly wasn't towards the goal. It might have been away from the goal either, but I think that's a harsh call on Zane Bubb.
Swashbuckling down the far flank, it's Nico Brown. Unable to snake away from Polak, but gets it back. His cross meets the gloves of Gunther Rankenberg. I think the primary point there is regarding the proximity to goal and the amount of defenders in between Zane Bubb and the actual oncoming player. Greenville with every bit of onus on them now. Can't imagine down a goal you're going to see them really sit back much.
I mean, this early on the road, you might as well just go for it now.
Cross coming from deep, and it will press into the roof of the net for a goal kick. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches will be available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. They have much to be excited about, those mallets hitting the drum with extra percussion. Wind in the sails of forward Madison. It's nearly nipped away by Rodrigo Robles, but kept by the home side. And for Greenville, having had so much go their way as of late, you wonder how this maybe shakes up their energy, the rhythm that they were playing with. Had not conceded a goal in the last two games that they had played. Conceded early against Red Wolves and then controlled that contest. Zeke Soto has been a live wire, though, in his starting debut for the club. And the card is out of the pocket again. This time it's a yellow to Chris Garcia.
It was a good tussle with him and Zeke Soto. Garcia for the pullback. He looks as flummoxed as I am regarding that decision from Tim Wagner. Let's take another look here. I mean, there was the hand pull. There was no jersey pull. Maybe perhaps a common foul, sure.
So, Ross, you've had refereeing experience. You make a big call like that, maybe a little bit of a controversial one with Zane Bubb. What happens immediately thereafter trying to assert that authority over the game again?
Get to that in a second after this free kick, babe.
Let you stew for a moment. Here's Connor Evans. It's a sculpted ball in. Castro bouncing one on, and it's a marvelous save from Burn Shipman.
I think he was saying the ball may have been. Oh, did he already touch it when it was on the net? Another great ball in from Connor Evans. Been getting used to these this year. And I think definitely got a touch on it. Did Shipman? We'll get a good look from this angle.
I think Brendan Fricke may have gotten
was right there.
Shove in there.
Oh, they called the free kick. Okay.
An opportunity for Castro, yeah. But just going back to the earlier point regarding how the referee is maybe trying to assert some control over the game, what's that look like?
Well, the game hasn't been out of control, Peyton. This is the thing. There was the two penalty decisions early. I'll get to that in a second. The two early penalty decisions that didn't go Greenville's way, and I didn't disagree with either of them. They could have gone either way. And now you make the big dog-o decision and completely change the outlook of this game. And then an interesting yellow card, I'll call it just there. This is sometimes the problem, though, when you consider going from MLS Next Pro to USL League One as a step up. Perhaps some would see it. Matt Glazer's about as upset as I think a lot of the Greenville fans in attendance are. But listen, I don't know. It's a big call to make that early in the game. And this wall doesn't look like it's 10 yards back either.
Connor Evans getting the reading of the depth, the lay of the land as he strides up and hits. Connor Evans, it dips wildly, but breaks wide. It will be a goal kick.
Yeah, Evans looking for the curl, didn't get any curl on it. Shipman was certainly there to cover. One thing I want to see on that dog-o decision was, did the referee consult with his assistant referee on that side? I'm not sure if he did.
Back in play now. Trickling towards the touchline, kept on by Polak and Fricke. Bear Insurance, a proud sponsor of Forward Madison FC, is based in Madison. It has provided protection and peace of mind to business and individuals throughout the state of Wisconsin since 1928. If my math is good, and so often is not, that's nearly 100 years, which is probably a sign of something done correctly.
I think you're right.
Bit of a searching ball. Connor Evans does his best to keep the attack going forward and does want to throw. 30 minutes gone. It's Greenville Triumph starting to find a little bit of a foothold in the attack.
Yeah, obviously just one short at the back now. Rick Wright's clearly happy to run with that tactically. He mentioned it really takes this man basically out of the game going forward. He's now got to stay back in that back three. Unless obviously Greenville perhaps go down one more and then they just throw everything at it, but certainly limits Toby Sims.
That being said, he is a weapon on the long throw as he hoists into the box. Unable to attach themselves, Greenville Triumph. Nothing more than a bit of clearing effort though from forward. Looks like Nazim Bartman may have taken a blow.
It was him and I think him and Zeke Soda might have come together on this clearance here. Yeah. Oh, clumsy from Soto. Left his foot in there and caught Bartman on the shin, perhaps on the ankle.
Matt Glazer must be racking himself with frustration now. Another player taking a knock for Forward Madison. So ill-equipped to absorb really any kind of alteration in this half, given how short-handed they are. Bartman only making his 4th start of the season in the league.
Now a drop ball here.
Maybe a drop ball. As Bartman attempts to continue on. Missed most of last year with a significant knee injury. Only playing 7 games. USL 1 play. If you are hearing that distinct sound, it is Highlands night here in Madison, Wisconsin. And yes, those are bagpipes. Round of applause.
Listen, bagpipes, I've never tried to play them for good reason. Very difficult to play.
I think they should be a more regular inclusion in terms of the overall orchestra, the supporters' ends. Soto. Once more a busybody. Play is summoned back again.
Well, where's the advantage? This is the Matt Glaze is getting frustrated. I think he's talking to the 4th official. That Zeke Soto was advancing down the field with the ball, and the referee calls it back for. I thought it was for a handball initially on Soto, but apparently not, because the free kick's gone Greenville's way.
Heading towards the end of a start and stop half of play here in Wisconsin.
Unless the foul came before the handball, and then the handball will stop the advantage, perhaps. I'll give Tim Wagner the benefit of the doubt this time.
This is a dangerous man on dead balls, in by Evans. That will just about stay on. Extra effort there from Luca Dorado, the goal scorer, to prevent a corner kick. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. That is what they call it. Lob back in. Knock-on header from Dorado, who gives some chase. Toby Sims back to Gunther Rankenberg. Soto goes quickly with the throw, disguised it well to get it into Leo Castro. Some calls for handball. And that's another throw-in.
Glazer. You mentioned before the game that the fourth official might have a long night tonight with these two. And Rick Wright's normally well behaved, but he's been getting increasingly frustrated with some officiating decisions as this season has gone on. And Matt Glazer certainly never one to hold back when it comes to letting the fourth official know his feelings.
Toby Sims. He's flicked on in the area. Obtained by Evans. Zakowski keeps it on. Away by Nico Brown, struck in by Evan Lee. Zakowski has stayed on side. Points a pass in towards Soto, who flicks it up. A mile high in the clearing effort. And Greenville refused to let go of this. It's another throw-in.
Yeah, Greenville have been camped down here in the Madison half for quite a while now. And despite being the man down, Madison really haven't got anything going down the other way.
We are 34 minutes into this game. Only 17 of them have been with the ball in play. Into the area, Leo Castro. It has been hard for either side to really build up much momentum with the ball. It's another throw-in. Another chance for Toby Sims to unleash the catapults. The Englishman has been such a bright spot since his acquisition just about a month ago. Assist in 2 of the last 3 games. As he locates Connor Evans, who unleashes one on the left foot. It's blocked. And taken in by Luca Dorado. Players just popped a tire for Madison on the far side as they continue their build. Their danger man, Derek Gebhardt, putting a leash to it. Garcia streaming downfield. Centrally for Murphy. First real attacking pressure from forward Madison since the sending off of Zane Bob.
Yeah, Greenville caught a little out of shape there for a second. Connor Evans did a good job of slowing things down to allow Zeke Soto to get back.
Cruel. And Gebhardt again, really putting himself up amongst the game. Macias. And once more is Jacob Krull, the league's leader in terms of touches per 90. Time to turn for Alman, unrushed in possession. Down by Krull. Cutting in for Chris Garcia. Using the full width of the pitch as they slowly make their way forward. The Mingos and fired in to Gunther Rankenberg. All that work in the build-up undone by one single loose pass. And in many ways, that's been the story of the season for forward Madison.
Yeah, you can see the frustration there. He gave that one away. Robles now getting into it. What a run he's had over these last 3 games as well. Been pretty quiet tonight.
2 goals last game in 45 minutes against Westchester. Rick Wright told us that he wore himself out in the first half, so they had to take him off. But he's been as good as he really has ever been in his professional career these last couple of games. 5 goal contributions in the last 5 in all comps. Timmy Mail.
We talked to Rick about a little bit about Rodrigo. He said last year he came in the middle of the season. He said he was creating chances last year. He just couldn't put them away. Kept telling him he knew it would come good, and now his confidence is sky high. I'm watching more video with him as well.
Well worked build up of play. Nico Brown stumbling with the ball. Time to shoot! And pushed over the frame by Rankenberg. It's Nico Brown at the controls, and he nearly breaks through to make it 2-0.
Luca Dorado once again involved. Found Bartman out wide. Oh, excuse me, Nico Brown cutting in, and this was a quality shot from Nico Brown, and Gunther Rankenberg saw it well, moved his feet nicely, It was a comfortable save in the end, but he had to be quick about it. This ball was struck with some venom.
Brown not in the starting 11 the last 3 games after beginning the last 13 contests prior to that. Already with an assist today, nearly added another goal. This time the in-swinging corner was just glanced off the mark by Greenville.
Soto got a touch on that one.
Most recent corner was presented by Canopy Wealth Management. And this is the Madison you thought you might get soon as Zane Bubb had to exit stage left, taking much more firm control of the contest.
Yeah, Greenville here. You have to think just trying to limp into the half and then get the 15 minutes to have a chat and figure out what they wanted, how they want to attack this game in the second 45.
Swooping ball, Polak able to rise to it. It will once more bobble out of play. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Ross, you've been able to sit in this ground. Not really a bad one in the venue as Reichenberg puts an end to the move.
No, for sure. It's in a great location as well. Easy to access. Parking might be an issue for some, but easy to access public transportation, walkable from downtown. Always a great atmosphere at Bree Stevens.
I love the kind of hodgepodge nature of it. One of those grounds that has a lot of character. Stands at uncustomary angles and constructions, but it gives it a ton of charm.
Yeah, a ton of history here as well. I think it previously hosted baseball originally, and now a permanent soccer/football pitch, I think perhaps during high school season as well.
Has a pub underneath it as well where fans can gather after games and celebrate each other's company. And even though it's not been the case this year, so often down the years, celebrate Forward Madison victory. This organization is good as any, not only in the USL, but American soccer, and understanding their community. Soto, Castro. I think that's why it's been maybe so downcast for Madison this year. The fact that they've not been able to get out of the gates. You see exactly how many people are still showing up to the ground, though.
Yeah, I remember the game I went to back in 2019. It was a Wednesday night, and they still had 4,000 plus.
They call them the Flock. They are formidable. They have seen their side go ahead with a clear advantage. 43 minutes through. Polak intervening. Room to press on. Castro gets it out from underneath his feet. Unable to quite claim full custody of the ball is Zukowski. Now Evan Lee. Paving a pass wide. Connor Evans. Evans shooting it across. Castro is lurking. It does stay on. No, it doesn't. Goal kick.
Yeah, bit of a hopeful ball there from Evans, looking for the nod back across from Castro. Just couldn't keep it in.
How have you felt about how Greenville have gone about involving Leo Castro in the game?
No, he's certainly been in and around the ball. Had that one blasted header early on, a chance. He's had those half chances in this first half. Greenville haven't made Brent Shipman do a ton, though, in this first 43 plus minutes.
Castro already with 4 shots in this one. Greenville came into today leading the USL League One in total shots, just south of 200 for the year.
Yeah, they've got 7 so far, but none on target yet, so Shipman hasn't had to make a stop.
Macias. Swashbuckling through the mid-park. Murphy. Madison find the spare man. Waiting on that board to pop up. Being calibrated as we speak. Jacob Krul. Shuttled into Chris Garcia, who blows by Connor Evans. Into Derek Gebhard, who returns it right back for Garcia. It was nearly a spotless move from Madison, just the final product ever elusive. A chance maybe to break for Greenville off the head of Castro. At full pace, it's Rodrigo Robles collided into and acrobatically cleared. Garcia with a flick, and it skids away. Polak will trace it down.
The other problem now for Greenville is that Connor Evans has had to go to the sort of right wing back spot where he has played previously, but he's been so effective in the middle of the park over these last few games, and now being forced to go out wide. It's another creative option they're missing in the middle of the park for the time being.
First half stoppage is presented by Just Coffee Cooperative. We are into 3 minutes of it, and it's a giveaway. Murphy. Foul given against Soto. He might be a little bit fortunate not to get booked here, just in the nature of the degree and amount of fouls he's maybe been involved in. Murphy's the one who's down.
Yeah, sloppy ball there from Brandon Fricky. And Soto's claiming he'll make a better look from this angle. Yeah, I think just a little too much contact from Zeke Soto. He has played a little bit of 10 back in his U17 days with USA.
Murphy is back to his feet. Always a player who's up for a scrap. Now, not much of that stoppage time should have counted so far. A little bit surprised at how little realistically was given. Only 3 minutes with the sending off with all the fouls.
Well, I would agree. I think maybe 4 or 5 would have been a little more reasonable. Not the end of the world, though.
Nice turn from Macias. Once more is probing. Garcia infield, striving ahead. Returned in from Macias. Could not get a full bite.
Oh.
And there are some not so kind words being exchanged.
Two Englishmen going at it. Not sure why Toby Sims was getting involved in the first place. Fricky and Garcia. Was it Fricky Macias initially? Lovely little run here by Garcia. He was looking for Macias. Fricky went down on the challenge, and he claimed Fricky claiming Macias perhaps took a dive.
Rick Wright described Brendan Fricky to us as the prototypical alpha male. I think you can see precisely why.
Somebody's in the book.
There is a yellow card and a name being scribbled. Told it is.
Brendan Fricky probably lucky himself not to end up in the book. His reaction.
It's been a tumultuous half here in Wisconsin. That is the top line.
That's one way to put it. Certainly been interesting. I think it's gone, other than the red card, it's pretty much gone as we thought it would. Madison dominating possession. They've only had 2 shots on target themselves, but Greenville have struggled to find the target as well, which perhaps we didn't expect. They do have 2 more shots in total than Madison. They haven't forced Shipman to do anything.
Still time enough maybe to cause some intrigue inside the ends of this first frame. As you said, partner, Greenville yet to make Burn Shipman work much. Sims taking every inch of grass he's allowed.
That he is, edging along that sideline.
It's once more in the mix. It's once more away. Madison have done a good job of staying compact, and Gebhard fully engaged. Put a scare into the retreating Connor Evans and cued out.
Well, we've gone 4 minutes anyway, Peyton. So we got the 4 minutes we were looking for, and he still hasn't blown the whistle. Matt Glazer asking what's going on.
Taken short to Soto, who skips by 1, but not by Gebhard. And there may time enough still be for a break. Chris Garcia and Madison happy to pocket this into the intermission. It was not 5 minutes on that Luca Dorado punctured Greenville triumph, and that defines the tie. 1-0 at the curtain fall. Ross Davenport What say you?
Well, still plenty to play for in the second half. Madison weren't able to add to their early lead. Big decision by our referee, Tim Wagner. Led to Greenville being down a man. We'll see how they attack this second half, being a goal down and a man down.
Time to pick through it at the intermission here in Madison, where it sits 1-0 on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network. Halftime is presented by Just Coffee Cooperative. That's what's coming to you as we try and digest what we've seen so far in Wisconsin. Plenty of halftime merriment to come. Folks, don't adjust the set. Much more coming to you.
Tomorrow isn't on the horizon, it's already here. At TrueStage, we've been building the future for nearly a century, empowering businesses to support their customers and members with what they need to thrive. Confidence in every step forward. With our range of simple and flexible financial solutions, we're not just ready for the future, we're shaping it, and we're helping you shape it too. Tomorrow isn't waiting, and neither should you. Learn more at TrueStage.com.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget and 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
Getting the exact vehicle you want is easy at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton. Come in and sit down with one of our sales professionals and build the Volkswagen you want. Pick all the features, order it, and then sit back and relax, knowing you're getting your dream vehicle. The best things in life are worth waiting for after all. Check out our selection online or in person. With new vehicles arriving every day, your perfect Volkswagen could already be waiting for you at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton.
Good look at the alt kilt. Here's the upcoming schedule for the side that wears those. Brought to you by Dairyland Insurance. And Ross, you look at this portion of the campaign for Forward Madison, you say to yourself, it probably has to happen now with these home games in the league stacked up like this.
Yeah, tonight the first of three in a row. Obviously Charlotte playing very, very well this season. That will be a tough one. Tormenta a little up and down. And then the cup game against Birmingham. Madison still with a chance perhaps of getting out of their group in the Jägermeister Cup, but they'll need a win in that one and some help elsewhere as well. And then AV Alta, one of the hottest teams in the league.
As for their opponent today, Forward Madison, Greenville triumph. You'll see right at the heart of this upcoming slate, FC Naples, that game in the Jägermeister Cup. Greenville probably in the best position of League One teams to get out of their group and into the knockout.
Yeah, they'll just need to better the result of the Tampa Bay Rowdies and their new coach, Tom Cassiato. Yeah, certainly a good chance when they get out of that group, and a fun one up next for Greenville at Portland midweek.
Check of the pulse, the table as you see it. That's coming up later in the show, but as for now, we step aside. The Experience, presented by El Jimador. Spike Bebidas is a video docu-series that shows the history, passion, and community of USL clubs and their supporter groups. The latest episode showcases Rhode Island FC and their support group, Defiant 1636. It's available on YouTube now. Check out a sneak peek.
We want to be the loudest people around. We want you to hear where we are at.
No one thought we would do what we did against Louisville. We were hot, we were clicking, we were scoring goals.
Even after the whistle blew and they were champions, forget about it. Raise your scarves, we kept playing.
I don't think I've heard a louder scream from a group of people than we did that night.
That's the important thing about this group. They never stop loving their team.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a loan off and take a loan for free.
Today we went to the beach and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water unique? It's our commitment to making our bottles from at least 50% recycled plastic. In fact, Crystal Geyser is the only beverage company in the U.S. to exclusively own and operate 2 plastic recycling facilities. And you can help us make an impact too by always remembering to recycle your bottles. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Simple, but not easy.
The box, keeper's out, he scores!
It's an S.
Not bad. My name is John Murphy. Pausani Ferry Sosa. Soy Juan Galindre. I'm Devin Boyce. I gotta get a couple push-ups in, you know? I can juggle. Justin. Da, 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 da. Justicia. Justice. 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 Justice from the ground. Justice from the ground up.
Halftime brought to you by Just Coffee Cooperative. The man of the hour, the Highland Cows, in attendance as the home side had 1-0 against Greenville. Triumph. News and notes from around the league. There's plenty to get into, Ross, and these are presented by Best Western. Tampa Bay is what they're calling it. It's Dom Casciato moving on to the USL Championship. He'll take over in Tampa.
No, congrats to Dom. Obviously, having been a rough season in Omaha, but what he's done since getting there has been awesome. And yeah, congratulations to him making the move up to the USL Championship.
Of course, elsewhere in the division, there are plenty of piping hot teams. You already talked about what's going on with AV Alta. But the scores from around the league, and there's a lot of delays. It's kind of a thing this time of the year. Brought to you by Best Western.
Yeah, Charlotte has not got underway. At least Tormenta Knoxville did. Neither has Texoma. But yeah, no weather delays here. That Richmond game almost over. Chattanooga looking to continue their good start to the season.
And as promised, this time of the campaign, the standings becoming so much more important. Here is what they look like. They're brought to you by Dairyland and Greenville. Just inside that line, and you see how little ground, despite all the trouble, Madison has to make up to get back on track.
Yeah, we've still got some teams with games to make up as well, including those 5 at the bottom with 2 games in hand on Richmond, who are probably going to end up in the last column tonight, but obviously still plenty to play for here as we approach the halfway mark.
Coming up on the second half of play here in Wisconsin, it's 1-0 forward Madison lead. Greenville triumph That second half is coming up when we return. Don't go anywhere.
Getting the exact vehicle you want is easy at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton. Come in and sit down with one of our sales professionals and build the Volkswagen you want. Pick all the features, order it, and then sit back and relax, knowing you're getting your dream vehicle. The best things in life are worth waiting for after all. Check out our selection online or in person, with new vehicles arriving every day. Your perfect Volkswagen could already be waiting for you at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton.
I've always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. Now that's just a footnote in my journey, a small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget and 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Highlights from the first half brought to you by Just Coffee Cooperative. And waking up early, Ross, was forward Madison as they strike 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, got off to a great start and then rewarded with this goal. A bit of passing in that right channel. It would come to Nico Brown, who would take on his former teammate, Tyler Pollock, deliver a nice ball into the post, and there's the left toe of Luca Dorado, the rookie. It's a knocking pass gun for Rankenberg.
Everything going so swimmingly at this point from Matt Glazer's bunch. One goal up, a weight off their shoulders, and they would feel even lighter still in this moment. Zane Bob goes in. There will be controversy. There will be rehashing, but it is a red card.
Yeah, we can see the referee not immediately signal. What a bit of help. It's in the middle here. Toby Sims is in the middle. Ball was a big touch ahead. Referee made a big decision there. I disagree with it. I think the distance to the ball was the big difference. He wasn't going to get to that before Gunn from Rankenberg, in my opinion.
Greenville would not be daunted, though, fashioning a couple chances.
Yeah, Leo Castro had, I think it was the second of 3 off targets in the first half. That one, didn't even get the credit for the corner. It looked like Brent Shipman tipped it over.
Just inside the end of that first frame, forward Madison on the front foot. It's Nico Brown again.
Yeah, Nico Brown can have games like this. This was a rasping left-footed shot. Down to Rankenberg, saw it well. Didn't really have to leave his feet. Just had to stretch, get his arms up there to palm it away. Yeah, 1-0 lead. And a 1-0 lead in men as well for Madison. There, your halftime stats. Very even, other than those shots on target and the possession, which I think we perhaps be expected.
Halftime stats presented by Rhyme. Greenville triumph coming off only 29% of the ball, the lowest in their club's history, one of the founding members in USL League One. That was the last game against Westchester. A low number here again, but to be expected against a possession-crazed Madison up a man.
For sure, I think Madison deserved it. The lead. Greenville had to have chances, but really didn't make Brent Shipman do anything in that first half. We'll see what they do in the second half. Gone to the 3 at the back. They didn't make any changes after Zane Bubb went up perhaps to bring on a defender. Moved Connor Evans, that man out there, back out wide where he started the season. Been so influential in the middle, though. Sid's being moved there by Rick Wright.
How do you feel like Greenville have dealt with the absence of Chapa Herrera?
I think they've done okay. There hasn't been a ton of action up through the middle, I don't think, for Madison particularly. Obviously, the goal and the card came through that right channel. I think Evans, Lee, and Soto. Soto's been hustling out there, throwing his weight around a bit.
Both sides examining themselves. The objective quite clear. Stark contrast from one another. For Greenville, it's find a way to give yourselves a lifeline. Really strain here early in this half. See if you can't get something to dig in for. From the South Carolinian perspective, you would have to imagine you'd be happy to get a single point from this game. For Madison, it's fine victory for the first time in your home ground in 2025.
Yeah, still plenty to play for here with just the 1-goal lead. Madison will be looking for that second one, though.
Now, it should be mentioned that Temi Oreku, just acquired on loan earlier this week from Birmingham Legion, has been made available on the bench today, just to see if he maybe gets a run out here in this second frame. Has yet to get that chance to train with the squad, only announced on Friday. As for now, though, Matt Glazer will play things close to the vest and maintain with the side that obtained the edge. Peyton Geller here with Ross Davenport. What has been an enthralling contest so far. It took shape early. Luca Dorado, the point of difference, his second goal of the year in the league. Taylor Pollock.
So finally, Richmond Chattanooga finishing off that 2-0 win over the Kickers. Matt Bentley penalty and Aaron Lombardi. 2 goals, 5 minutes apart in the second half, the difference in that one.
What a job that Scott McKenzie has done with that Chattanooga outfit. A couple of his former players in this Greenville team, Javon Marsh and Ropapa Mensah.
You may see those fresh legs on in the second half, especially with that midweek game.
Rodrigo Robles firing one in. And that is the kind of zest and inspiration that he can play with to open up a game. Just missing the mark there.
Yeah, just need to get him a little more around the ball in the second half. He can have moments like this, though, as you mentioned, Peyton. A little flick to himself, and yeah, that's a Ricardo Robles.
On multiple occasions as a wild card. Says he sets him up in one place, and where he goes from there, only the Lord knows. As a free kick is won straight away. Chris Garcia was booked in that first half.
Well, he's got to be careful there. That was Connor Evans had gone maybe 5 more yards and presented a promising attack decision for referee Tim Wagner. Garcia could have been in real trouble.
Free kick coming.
You mentioned Robles getting around the ball. He had only 4 passes in that first half.
A calm catch from Bern Shipman. Has been such a stalwart in goal. A special goalkeeper kit for him, honoring his Filipino heritage.
I like it. Very colorful, as are the Greenville goalkeeper kits.
It's a pretty distinct honor for an individual player to get a jersey made for them specifically. Again, just pays a lot of attention to exactly how mindful this Madison program is. Want to make people feel like they belong, and at the core of this, that's what the game's about. And belonging in the attack is Chris Garcia, who can't cut his cross free of Toby Sims. Off the chest of Castro, who can't tame, and apparently he's committed a foul. Timmy Mail. Nico Brown. And this is where Madison really can press that man advantage, knocking it from touchline to touchline. Ducking out of the way is Nico Brown. Does just about manage to keep it on, and then loses the handle at the last. Anything standing out to you at all about these first couple of minutes in the second frame?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I see anything tactically from Rick Wright. Don't see anything immediately obvious other than Evans perhaps playing a little more centrally now, getting him back where he's been so good of late.
How about the hard hat work from Derek Gebhardt? covering the ground, now picking the ball up in the pivot. This has been the best attacker for forward Madison this year, but something Matt Glazer has underscored time and time again. It's his effort and professionalism that really set him apart. Murphy presenting.
I think Rick Wright will say to Connor Evans, listen, when we're out of possession, try and get involved in the middle and get that ball back. And this puts a lot on Toby Sims' shoulders as he is here.
Slid ahead, Chris Garcia.
See Evan Lee dropping back as well to help out in the middle.
Cross comes. Fricky is stern and strong at the near edge of the 6-yard box. Madison turning up the temperature a bit. The second ball is ventured onto the field. That's all cleaned up and allowed to continue. In tow for Burn Shipman. Derek Gebhard hatching his plan. It's an acres for Nazim Bartman, who spots Nico Brown. Making headway is Nico Brown. His cross is parried away at the near post. Man down in the box. And no call given. Nico Brown once more stirring things up, but it's Castro who edges towards midfield. And he's dispossessed.
Yeah, looks like Evan Lee still going to be in his defensive midfield spot. But he's going to drop back and make it a back four when that ball does get deep into that final third and allow Connor Evans to stay in the middle.
The all-time appearances leader in the USL League One. We've seen him basically function as a striker at times, as well as a center back and everything in between in his career.
Yes. As long as it's central, Evan Lee will play it for you.
Chalaka with confidence. That was a 10 out of 10 from Aiden Macias. Bit of gymnastics in the midfield, but the ball's gone now. Zeke Soto latching on and stretching his legs. Rodrigo Robles. And dug out by Chalaka, who has committed a foul. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app.
Yeah, Matt Glazer will certainly be imploring his men not to give away too many more set pieces in the second half, because the real equalizer when you're a man down are the set pieces. As the Mingo calls get louder, as they always do on the corner kicks and free kicks.
This is not the man to provoke. Connor Evans has already created more dead ball chances than any Greenville player in the history of the club. He may have just made another one stick. Fricky just a touch late to it. And that man is acquitting himself quite well today. Michael Chalaka stepping in for the captain, Mitch Osmond, doing so in fine fashion.
Yeah, he's played well tonight. We've seen him center back for the three. We've also seen him on the right-hand side of the three as well.
Signed last season during the duration of the year, really settling in 2025. Off the head of Fricky. Called into action the Mingo's back line. And they evade the danger for now. Just settling into the second half. Fricky on the ball. He was quick to get off it.
Not sure that's where Brandon Fricky wants to be receiving the ball, on the left wing, as he jogs back to his center back spot.
Just getting word now that elsewhere in the division, Charlotte and Omaha are underway at this point, dealing with some delay. Everything else is still clogged up. Those trains not running on schedule in the south.
Poor Toby Sims wanted at his feet.
Those folks have been happy, but it feels like There's an anxiousness in the crowd right now. Their side have not pressed the advantage very well.
Yeah, they'd love to get that second goal. More and more Greenville hang around, get the likes of Rapapa Mensah, Siobhan Marsh on there with some fresh legs. Just give it all they've got in the last 20-25 minutes, perhaps. Madison haven't got that second goal by then. These Flock fans will be very nervous.
Yes. It's off Rodrigo Robles. Some calls for handball. Domingo's allowed to continue to build. And that's a boy who is in bright form right now, Aiden Macias. With Jimmy Villalobos moving on and joining up with A.V. Alta. That's that pivot presence that's been absent this year for forward Madison. Murphy and Macias, though, doing a good job spurring on the attack. As for now, the flag is down. Derek Gebhard. Gebhard again has scored.
Well, the entire Greenville backline stopped because they thought Dorado was offside.
Gebhard celebrates with several Madison players. You see Devin Boyce not in the team, but able to provide a firm hug. Osmond as well, and it's 2-0.
Devin Boyce in the t-shirt there. I mean, from that angle, Dorado looked like he was a good 2 yards offside. That's obviously no excuse for the Greenville backline to stop playing. That was a lovely little flick. Dorado having himself a night.
The goal is brought to you by Dairyland Insurance. It is insurance provided by Derek Gebhard, his 5th of the season. It is 2-0. There will be questions asked about that one, though.
Yeah, we didn't really get the full angle, so hard to say for sure if he was on offside, but it certainly looked from the one angle like he was, as Dami Villader and Garrett McLaughlin get ready to come in.
Eric Del Rosario Gandara and Fermin Sanchez on the linesman today. And that flag just never came. It looked like the run had ventured well offside before Gebhard was allowed to finish with conviction. The mountain becomes much taller for Greenville. Prodded away by Evan Lee, and the foul has been given against Greenville. There's a player down. It looks like it's Aiden Macias.
It was just a frustration foul there from Greenville. To keep themselves calm here, they don't need any more red cards. Yeah, that's just silly from Connor Evans. Little hip check.
It's all gone pear-shaped so quickly for Greenville, who are clinging to the game with white knuckles, and it appears a couple changes are being prepared by Matt Glazer. Damia Villader, the longtime servant of Sacramento Republic, previously the all-time transfer fee record holder between the USL League One and the USL Championship, just replaced by Luis Alvarez. 2 Tampa Bay Rowdies played under the tutelage of his manager, Matt Glazer, who was an assistant in Sacramento. He's trusted in this late stage, as well as Garrett McLaughlin, who missed a key penalty against Texoma last week.
Yeah, McLaughlin's had his fair share of injury troubles this season so far, but certainly one of the best natural goal scorers in League One history. And what a night for this man, Luca Dorado. Scored the goal, took the foul that made the red card, and then certainly played a big part in the second goal as well.
A player that his manager, Matt Glazer, has really been high about the amount of professionalism he's provided straight away, the mentality of a first-year player. Had his college teammate, Zane Bubb, go in for a tackle on him early on in the game, got sent off. Zane Bubb did. That was before Dorado was able, or I should say rather, after Dorado was able to capitalize and gain the lead for forward Madison. His day comes to a close. And if it sticks this way, his goal will be the game-winning one. How important the next 5 minutes for Greenville? What's on the checklist to try and get back into the game?
Well, I think at some point for Rick Wright, yeah, you maybe give it everything here for the next 5 or 10. If you can't find a goal at some point, Rick Wright may have to think about just preserving bodies for Wednesday, that trip to Portland.
Never an easy place to step into. Portland Hearts of Pine just recently breaking the consecutive sellout record in USL League One, posting the highest attendance in the league. But now in the present tense, important to note for forward Madison, the accomplishment as the ball nearly is lost by Michael Chalaka. That's their first time with that goal scored by Derek Gebhardt, scoring multiple goals in a game in 14 consecutive. And they're looking for more. Driving into the box and firing one in. Away by Fricky, down by Murphy. And Murphy is unable to bring it under his spell. Now Toby Sims.
I think Toby Sims, perhaps one of those guys that Rick Wright, we wanted to give a rest. Hasn't left the field much since coming to Greenville, and obviously coming off a full season in England with Harrogate. DJ Benton at the disposal if they decide to use him and give Sims a rest. Obviously nobody with a yellow yet for Greenville tonight, somehow. Seems like they should have had at least one.
That said, the red is defining. As for Sims, you said it, coming off what was nearly 50 appearances in England, the lower leagues this year. Was ready to get involved straight away, though. Just proposed to his long-term girlfriend to start this chapter of his professional and personal life. Gebhardt, unable to get the ball out from underneath. Saw Damia Viater making the overlap. There's no rush in the tempo. John Murphy. And now Nico Brown. Pushing ahead, Jacob Krull. Just pinched back, and Fricky not taking any chances. It's a throw in to come. Substitution set to be made by Greenville. And it's Ropapa Mensah getting an extended run out. Hasn't seen much time lately, but he will get plenty of action, probably around 30 minutes with stoppage time. Rodrigo Robles can't make it 3 consecutive games with a goal.
Yeah, right. Sandro Papamensa lost a bit of weight, getting better in shape. Dealt with a bit of an injury earlier this season.
Rick said that he's dropped about 7 pounds since entering camp. Really struggled to get in with the team as they look to get him cleared on his visa. Really didn't get a preseason, so what you're seeing now is, in many ways, the start of his campaign.
Yeah, I think a good opportunity here for him just to go run around and try and cause some havoc. Try and find that goal that would certainly make the rest of this game a little interesting.
It's out of play. It looks like it's going to be a corner. As for Ropapa Mensah, his last league goal came last year, 273 days ago to be precise, against forward Madison for Chattanooga. His first action will be digging in for this corner kick. Canopy Wealth Management is donating $50 to Forward Madison FC's mini pitch fundraising project for each home corner kick taken by the Mingos as they prep for another. It's a decent ball and a towering hit off the head of Michael Chalaka. Bear Insurance, a proud sponsor of Forward Madison FC, is based in Madison, has provided protection and peace of mind to businesses and individuals throughout the state of Wisconsin since 1928. Matt Glazer is a happy man right now. Somebody who operates with a low resting pulse, you might say. It did feel like it was starting to weigh on him, though. This team came into today having gone winless in 10 straight games in the league. Second longest drought in the club's history. It is the longest in a single season, with the prior coming in between 2022, the first 9 games, and then the last 2 in 2023. They're not accustomed to the difficulty this year has posed, as this time the flag is up. McLaughlin had wandered beyond the last man. Are you in management mode at this point for Greenville?
As I said, I think you give it perhaps 5 more minutes. Let Rapapa Mensah try and get some balls over the top. Of course, Madison will be well aware of his threat there. They'll often see him getting the ball as deep as that. And then perhaps I think you need to start thinking about Wednesday. Who do you put in at centre-back? Anthony Patti get a run here late on. Watch out.
Decent ball in behind. Zakowski fails to really get flush contacts. And it's been without the tempo and the rhythm in the front end so far for Greenville today.
Perhaps you get Anthony Patti on there and try the back 4 with Fricky moving to right centre back. Patti, a naturally left-footed player.
Gebhard crushed there by Tyler Pollock. Not much question about that foul call.
Sorry, Fricky staying at right centre back. Going back to the back 4 is what I meant. And Tyler Pollock with just a little too much contact there.
Madison on the move. Clean, connected play in the build. Murphy needling ahead for Nico Brown. Can he make another impact? Brown stepping over. He's got space. Nico Brown saved away by Gunther Rankenberg.
Rankenberg's the best stop of the night by a long way. Nico Brown just making a complete fool of Zeke Soto. Found himself at acres of space there on the cutback in. Another good bit of contact from Nico Brown. Zeke was looking for help. He thought he had help inside him. Almost caught Tyler Polak and deflected past Gunther Rankenberg. That's a good stop from the Greenville keeper.
Rankenberg has had a rough day at the office. Not much he could have done about that first goal. Both of them just kind of darkening his doorstep and finding the back of the net. We are told Juan Galindrez is being prepared in the dugout area for forward Madison. And there's a man down. It looks like it's Toby Sims.
It is, clutching his head.
He has been such a positive force since his arrival. This team in Greenville have faced 3.5 fewer shots per game, 2.2 fewer shots on target per game, and have conceded far less goals, 0.64 fewer. Since Toby Sims stepped into this team, actually, Greenville have become the best defense in terms of stifling shots in the division. He has been transformative and a huge part of this resurgence from Rick Wright's men.
Oof, yeah, a little clash of heads there, I think. Back of McLaughlin's head catching Toby Sims. No blood, though.
Greenville are preparing a whole flotilla of changes. Looks like Siobhan Marsh, as well as Carlitos Anguiano and Devin Benton. This will be the longest we've seen Devin Benton play in a game in quite some time. Got 2 minutes against Westchester. Prior to that, had not played in the last 4 league games. Chance to maybe prove a point for some of these players in the wings for Greenville. USL on CBS kicks off July with a hot showdown in the Championship Eastern Conference. Last season's final runner-up Rhode Island FC takes on Northeastern rival Hartford Athletic on Saturday, July 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's on CBS. As for what's going on the CBS Sports Golazo Network, a whole bunch of accounting as those three aforementioned changes are made. Siobhan Marsh was out of the 18, given a break to deal with some personal things in his life. Rick Wright said that he's come back in wide smiling fashion, much refreshed, and needed that little time off. You love that Rick Wright has the mindfulness to listen to what's going on with his players and be responsive, understand them as people. As Juan Galindraz comes on and replaces Derek Gebhardt, who scored the goal to make it 2-0.
Yeah, Derek worked hard tonight. A lot more energy from this whole Madison team in the final third. Diagonal runs, opening things up. Juan Galindraz, he's used to coming off the bench back in the day.
Substitution is presented by Festival Foods, and it has been a celebration since Gebhardt got to the sideline.
So DJ Benton may go to left back, pushing Polak and Fricky into the middle. Tyler Polak has played some center back.
Now, with how deflating this game has gone, it should also be mentioned that Greenville can really reverse the flow of the contest with only 1 bounce of the ball. It would get quite prickly and precarious for forward Madison if Greenville can just get the one back. They've been in autopilot for most of this game, sending off coming. Already a goal up just beyond the 20th minute. It's a scouting delivery in behind that never links up with Ropapa Mensah. Now there's area of operation in the center. Nico Brown. How good has he been today?
Listen, he has these games where he looks like he could be a dominant force in this league. He has games where he vanishes too, but yeah, Nico's been living in those channels tonight.
Here he is again, the former Greenville Triumph player. Brown shuffling along. McLaughlin hit from range. It's flashed away at the back. And thumped all the way clear by Brandon Fricky. Castro's been virtually non-existent this half, but he does claim possession for his side. And Siobhan Marsh stretches fresh legs, can't play in Ropapa Mensah. Nazim Bartman has gone down to the ground. No reason to stop things though for Greenville. They have every reason to play on. Benton. Carlito Sanquiano. Castro. Just nowhere to go. A foul given against Ben Sikowski. Rather than actually Connor Evans.
Yeah, it's obviously been a frustrating night for Greenville. Not just with some refereeing decisions, but also no shots on target still here in the 73rd minute.
And Bartman is back at his backside. He took the captain's armband today. It appears that day may be done. Temperature is a factor this time of year, even as far north as Wisconsin. Just a stretch. It did look like he took the armband off, though. Maybe he will continue.
Full time in Naples. Carson Handelong with 7 minutes to go with the game winner there, 2-1 over Westchester. As their woes continue, Naples continuing their fine play at home here in their inaugural season. With the only game we're still waiting to start is that Texoma Portland game that was dealing with some weather issues.
Two of those new expansion sides. We're watching two of the real founders of the league, Greenville, in that original grouping. You see Evan Lee, Tyler Polak, Brandon Fricky, all at the top of the all-time league appearances charts, and all of them with Greenville Triumph effectively. And a change is being made. Adrian Graffin injected to replace Nazim Bartman.
You can see it didn't look like Nazim wanted to come off. Pleading with his coaching staff to stay on the pitch.
Graffin, an unused substitute in the last game. That's been the case the last 4 times he's been on the bench. That substitution brought to you by Festival Foods. Little flick from John Murphy. Sims has won it high. Scraping wide. Marsh and now Ropapamensa. It's spiked back by Chalaka, and it's out for a throw, but signs of life for Greenville triumph.
And it all started with superb work from Toby Sims. Turning that ball back over in the middle of the park.
And they prepare for the long throw. Hurled in and hooked out by Krul. It's a bit awkward for Pollock. Settled by Connor Evans, who strides away, hitting the gas. Evans is toppled. And what's the word?
He gave the free kick.
So Greenville will salivate over what could be their lifeline back into the game. It is a good time to tell you the eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. And the whooping commences. Not sure that's the sound that a flamingo makes, but if it is, that's quite delightful. With swing. Headed on! It hit the post! It's still free! And somehow does not find a way to puncture.
Offside flag came up, certainly after the shot off the post. The delivery from Evans. Once again, a lovely header by Castro. Those stooping headers we're always used to him making. Didn't go in this time, but off the post. Shipman was beaten. Fricky couldn't get it under control. Madison just scrambled it away. If that one had gone in, it certainly would have made for a interesting last 15 minutes or so.
Signs of encouragement for Greenville. If they are to come back in this one, you would imagine the first might need to come in the next 5 minutes or so. Pollock, dispossessed. Nico Brown, that's fine work with the ball. And he is slashed down. That may have been the only thing that was stopping him there. A man of the match level performance from Nico Brown.
Oh, he's impressed tonight.
On loan from Lexington SC. Where he played last year. First 2 years of his professional career coming for Greenville. Carlitos Anguiano unable to get away from Adrian Graffin. He scored his first goal for Greenville not a couple matches ago against Miami FC.
Greenville continuing to scrap here. They certainly could have packed it in with the score and the fact they have that game midweek, but they're still looking for that first goal that would certainly make things interesting. Siobhan Mush with plenty of energy down the right here.
It bobbles out of play. Looks like it's going to be for a corner. A chance to really commit the bodies as Brendan Fricky trots up, and maybe actually the ruling is that it will be a goal kick. They brought it all the way back for a foul. That's a bit befuddling.
Just going to scratch my head, Peyton. Just kidding, that's all I'm going to do.
I suppose advantage was being played. Marsh given a chance to try and track that down.
Right,
nonetheless, it's a ball into the box. Castro has a whack. It's going to fall right back to him. Into the center, Anguiano unable to fully gain possession, and Burn Shipman. What's been an easy day at the office for him continues. USL Championship and League One are on the CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Nico Brown striking out. Still Nico Brown. And still Nico Brown. He's cut down in the area. And it's going to be once more forward Madison posing the threat from the corner flag as Nico Brown nearly did it on the solo show.
A good shoulder to shoulder there from Tyler Pollock, getting some help as well, coming from his longtime teammate Brandon Fricke to knock one out for a corner.
This would be icing for Madison. Arm up from Damia Viader. It's a moonshot, and it's an easy meet for Opapa Mensah. Once more entered towards the area. Settled down, McLaughlin. Floated in for one, Galindrez, who slices high.
Tyler Pollock and Brandon Fricke continuing to have a conversation with the assistant referee on this near side. Not for the first time tonight.
Greenville attempting to build. Leo Castro's dropped in and given it away. And that's probably a wise foul to give up. Devin Benton has a chance for a change. All out of sorts there. And the day is done for Tyler Pollock. And a run out for Pascal Corvino. Injured on the second match of the year. He's missed the last 19 games in all competitions. From the early reporting, it looked like it was going to be much longer than that. Greenville get back one of their really important metronomes in this back half of the season. Corvino able to get his sea legs here tonight. It was a probing ball. Mesias and Chalaka. Actually never gets to Michael Chalaka as it's stroked back in by Timmy Mail. Some defending to do. Devin Benton a little bit awkward there as he allowed that one to roll for his goalkeeper there. Gunther Rankenberg rolled out for Toby Sims. And this is Siobhan Marsh. Caution to the wind. Pascal Corvino sees his first touch skid beneath his studs. Galindrez.
So DJ Benton will go to left center back.
I think the idea for Rick Wright just to try a couple things and see if he might be able to salvage a unique solution for maybe down the line, if it is not for today. That's well won from Siobhan Marsh. Pascal Corvino puts it on the foot of Leo Castro, who looks up and locates Siobhan Marsh. Litos Henkiano is the wide man. Toby Sims trying to give some width as Henkiano delivers to the back post. Nico Brown's not going to take any risk, gets out for a corner. It must be now for Greenville. There is to be any tension in this final phase. Connor Evans. Headed back across the goal mouth. Leo Castro is lurking. He's denied. Pascal Corvino. Well, he was raring to go, but it is nothing more than a goal kick.
He's been waiting for that one for a few months. Corvino can finish them from distance, that's for sure.
Thoughts overall on the Madison performance?
I certainly wouldn't call it an excellent performance by Madison. They've done what needed to be done. Picked up 3 points, it looks like here. Scored 2 goals, most importantly. And just something to build on. I think that's what you can really take from this as a Madison player, coach, fan. 3 points in the bag. You haven't had that in a while. On to the next match, another game at home against a tough opponent, Charlotte, coming up.
This is the first of 4 consecutive home games in the league. Of course, they'll go away to Birmingham Legion in the Cup. The That's well won. Pascal Corvino again.
And XG for Madison barely creeping up just to 1.97.
Who's been booked here? A yellow card is shown.
Is it Graffin maybe?
It appears that's the case.
Yeah, challenge from behind. Denying Corvino. Wasn't much in it, but yeah, Graffin knew exactly what he was doing. They didn't even need to turn around, just cut across the running angle of Corvino. Good work by Anguiano. Help get that turnover.
Promising signs from Pascal Corvino in his reintroduction. Player that finished last year so well. They were very excited about what he might contribute heading into this season. He's contributed a chance for Connor Evans over a four-man wall. Sloping in at the back post, over the head of Mensah, flicked on by Siobhan Marsh. And the interest is ignited here in Wisconsin, 2-1.
You mentioned set pieces earlier. Another headed goal, this time by Siobhan Marsh. Was it the header that went in? I think it was. Well, that'll certainly make these last few minutes very, very nervy. Lovely floated ball by Marsh. Knocked in by Mensah, his teammate. Yes, it was with the head. I think it was making sure I wasn't seeing things that Siobhan Marsh scoring with a header.
His third career goal against these Mingos. And it's a big one to open up his league account for Greenville.
The crowd has gone rather quiet, and for good reason. Greenville aren't done here yet, and that'll help the case for Madison. Juan Galindez will certainly take his time getting up from this challenge.
A chance to collect themselves for forward Madison, who've been in cruise control. All of a sudden will feel some serious pressure and heat at their back.
Say Madison with 90% passing accuracy tonight. That's certainly vastly improved. They do like to knock the ball around, but it's been possession just for possession's sake over the last couple of months. Certainly taking their chances tonight, whether they've been handed to them by Greenville. Onside, Galindez? No, offside this time.
Pressing to the finish line, Greenville Triumph have given themselves a chance late on. They have been out of the contest virtually from the off. That goal coming in the 6th minute from Luca Dorado, then the sending off, and then the early goal from Derek Gebhardt. It was Siobhan Marsh, the Jamaican, that jarred the door open. We sit at 2-1. From 2-0 down and a man down, Greenville wrapping at the door, aimed in towards Ropapa Mensah, settled by Pascal Corvino. A sudden sieging here in Brees Stevens. Rudderless ball, but it will stick up for Siobhan Marsh, who clashes at the end line. Won by Damia Villader.
Yeah, good job by Villader there. He was under pressure. Knew he couldn't make a slight mistake, otherwise Siobhan Marsh would have robbed him.
You can almost feel the arrhythmia in the drum beat. Real palpitacious anxiety for forward Madison. Waiting on that final bell to save them. A loose touch from Brendan Fricke, but he keeps it on. Now switching the points. Ropapa Mensah. It just bounds over the head of Siobhan Marsh. Damia Villader stuck to his shoes. Graffin guiding wide. McLaughlin, a clever pass. Juan Galindez now. Tic-tac-toe passing. Galindez is in. Juan Galindez saved by Rankenberg, but not to be denied. Juan Galindez in forward Madison. It's a trice. 3-1 the home side. Absorb any doubt.
Lovely ball here by McLaughlin to find Galindres out the back door, and a lovely return ball as well. A lovely little piece of interplay between those two. Good save by Rankenberg. But Galindres was there to clean it up. And a loud sigh of relief goes around Bree Stevens.
That goal is presented by Dairyland. Juan Galindres saw the narrative and mixed the whole thing up. It felt like Greenville really had a chance to maybe do something. Juan Galindres took the doing into his own hands.
Yeah, not something we'd see much from Madison, the counter-attack. That one worked perfectly. Matt Glazer still barking.
It is the most goals that forward Madison have been able to put up in a league game this year into 6 minutes of just Coffee Cooperative stoppage time. An energizing effect is Juan Galindres, who scored the winner in the last meeting of these two teams, may have just leveled the all-time series here today. And it's less than friendly words from John Murphy.
And the frustration building up. Not sure who Pascal Corvina was talking to, perhaps the fourth official. Listen, for Greenville, I think you just move on from this game and think what could have been, if not for that decision by that man there, Tim Wagner. Nico talking to Pascal Corvina.
It will be a caution for Pascal Corvina.
I think the quick turnaround for Wednesday will be a good thing for Rick Wright's men. Get this taste out of the mouth from this game.
Yellow card is presented by Dairyland Insurance.
Move on to another tough place to play, a fun place to play in Portland. Some serious travel. They won't get back till either late tonight or tomorrow morning.
Grant was telling us they went into the game against Westchester. They played so well. They won that one 3-0. You'd never be able to tell they flew in the day of.
They
so
did.
Maybe that might not affect them as harshly as you would think.
They might have to change their flight plans for Wednesday and go in the day of the game. See if they can make it work again.
Somehow I think that's not a habit that Greenville would want to take up.
No.
Back to Gunther Rankenberg. Papa Mensah's onto it. He's thrown to the ground. And it looks like Timmy Mail has been able to avoid a yellow card.
Yeah, I think simply because the touch from Mensah was so heavy, he wasn't going to get to it anyway. Perhaps Wendell gets away with that one.
It is a free kick, though. And we saw exactly how dangerous Greenville can be from these dead balls, especially with two big bodies in the middle. That wrecking crew, Papa Mensah and Leo Castro. As it is the theme tonight, that's a whole lot of beef. And all the way into the reach of Bern Shipman. It was a venomous ball.
Yeah, certainly a different delivery from almost the same spot that led to the goal.
Animated crowd here tonight, spurring their side on from the opening whistle. Just on the precipice of seeing victory in the league for the first time on their home patch, forward Madison.
Leo Castro is asking for 8 seconds, but that doesn't come into play in League One until next season.
Thoughts on that being an automatic corner potentially in the near future?
I love it. I think keepers have been getting away with that, even as a keeper myself, for so many years.
Corvino.
It's a nice little, other than instead of an indirect free kick, I think I like the corner result.
That's a real tangle on that far touch line, but Madison work it out well. Galindres hungry for more. On approach, forward Madison. Adrian Graffin, it's bravely blocked by Sims, but capped. Nico Brown now. This is Nico Brown, it's blocked. And it will be a goal kick.
So Nico deserves a goal tonight for the hard work he's put in. Denied on that occasion, though. And a great play by Toby Sims.
Castro. Still Leo. Castro flowing in across. It will find the feet of Connor Evans. Evans at the byline. Ball in. Down by Carlitos Engiano. And it's blotted out for now. Evans. Poked into Pascal Corvino. Siobhan Marsh. The crash of the cymbals here in Madison, Wisconsin. Ball free in the box.
And two Greenville players going forward at the same time, and now here come Madison.
One Galindrez, McLaughlin in the sidecar. It's a staggering tackle from Connor Evans.
Connor Evans, I think most people would agree, the MVP of this Greenville team so far this season. Him and Leo, even with Leo Castro with the 7 goals. I think Connor Evans has been a revelation as a rookie.
Sims.
Sims wants a piece of that MVP pie by the end of the season, though.
Flown in by Benton and nobody home. A day to salivate and celebrate. They have been waiting so long, hungrily, Forward Madison and their faithful, the flock, for the night that they've known down the years. The atmosphere of this evening, their team living up to that. And here's Adrian Graffin. One-on-one is Graffin, laid off. Galindrez just missing out. And that might be the final action.
Unselfish play from Graffin. Right. Still giving it to the 4th official. Mentioned just tonight of what could have been for Greenville if a couple of those early Leo Castro efforts, if one of those had gone in, if Zane Bubb was still on the pitch, it could be a much different story.
And on we go. Castro will rise to it. And that brings us to the end. Forward Madison take themselves off the tarp and take out Greenville Triumph. Their first win at home. It holds a 10-match winless skid in the league. And that is a victory that might be worth much more than 3 points in that dressing room.
No, congratulations to Madison and the flock. It's been a while.
There is Derek Gebhard, who scored the second. And he is the practitioner that provided the play of the match coming here. It would be Gebhard getting onto one in the box, and not to be denied at close range, that would be the insurance. Presented by Dairyland Insurance, this play of the match. Gebhard, just no quit in him. There never has been. And in the face of goal, was not to be mistaken.
Yeah, there'll certainly be some questions about offside, but that second goal they've been looking for so long ended up being the winner.
And the man of the match is that man, Luca Dorado, presented by Festival Foods. He got the party started.
He did. He got the party started. Was the man who was tackled by Zane Bubb on the red card and then had the assist on the second goal. A real coming out party for the rookie from UCF, on loan from Birmingham.
This is much more like it from Forward Madison. It is a confirmed performance that takes the day. 3-1. Post-game coverage coming up. Greenville Triumph unable to keep the good thing going as Madison reintroduce themselves to the league. We're into the back half in the USL League One regular season. Folks, much more coming to you on the other side of a break.
Tomorrow isn't on the horizon, it's already here. At TrueStage, we've been building the future for nearly a century, empowering businesses to support their customers and members with what they need to thrive. Confidence in every step forward. With our range of simple and flexible financial solutions, we're not just ready for the future, we're shaping it, and we're helping you shape it too. Tomorrow isn't waiting, and neither should you. Learn more at TrueStage.com.
That's a happy flamingo. 3-1, the final score. There might be something in these Scottish kits, or kilts, I should say. Forward Madison take it to Greenville triumph, and here is exactly how it happened. Brought to you these full-time highlights by Just Coffee Cooperative. 5 minutes in, Luca Dorado.
Yeah, pretty goal from the home team. Dorado getting involved early. Nico Brown, who had a wonderful performance tonight, causing all sorts of trouble down the right side. Macias finds Nico Brown, and watch the run from Dorado here. Standing at the penalty spot right now, just goes towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's a lovely delivered ball, just a deft flick to direct it past Gunther Rankenberg for the early lead.
Nico Brown, that would not be the last time you would hear from him on the day, as Dorado is the one to profit from the delivery. And then on to the 20th minute, it's Dorado again. Eye to eye with St. Bob. Bob is a little bit late, and he is sent for the early shower.
Well, I've made my opinion heard on that, and not a red card in my book.
Just inside the hour mark, up a man, up a goal, venturing into an adventurous position was Luca Dorado. And then Derek Gebhardt would punctuate at point blank.
Adventurous being the kind word. He was 2 yards offside. But that doesn't and in the end, that resulted in the goal.
Gebhardt sticking with the play. No whistle came, and that's how they teach you to do it from year 5 on. Here's Connor Evans getting one back. Would be Siobhan Marsh. Excitement back in the tie for a couple of minutes as Siobhan Marsh nods that one home from the doorstep. But only moments later, it would be Juan Galindraz really just destroying any doubt as his side break out on the counter and finish in fine style.
Yeah, a bit of interplay between him and Garrett McLaughlin. Galindraz gets it back. Initial shot is saved by Rankenberg, but Galindraz there for the finish. And the 3 points.
McLaughlin finding his time, never sped up. Juan Galindraz unable to provide an assist for Garrett McLaughlin, but does get the goal as we see the full-time stats brought to you by Rhyme. And yeah, one shot on target for Greenville, going to be hard to win a game. 7 for Forward Madison. One of their best tallies this year in 2025.
Yeah, just the one shot. That'll frustrate Rick Wright as much as the officiating. This is sort of back to the performances they were having during that 8-game winless streak. Just could put any pressure on Bert Shipman. Had their chances at first half with Leo Castro. Obviously, a couple of his officiating decisions didn't go their way. Head to Portland on Wednesday.
So it's at the final bell, presented by Dairyland Insurance, that this side, Forward Madison, take it 3-1 on their home patch. It's a purple one here in the early confines of July. As for our entire casting crew, my partner Ross Davenport, folks, I've been Peyton Gallagher. The USL League One season continues. We'll talk to you soon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Please.